Welcome back, everybody. We just got done the rest hold. It's time for us to get into our main event for this episode of Smack Talk, which is going to be the mailbag questions you submitted for the June 2016 inbox. We got 2 people this week, only 2 people. Man, that's a shame. But we got plenty of questions here sent in from those 2, which are Silent Winter Doom and Peter Piccininni. Starting off with Silent Winter Doom. He says, "Hey, Drew, we are 2 wrestlers from swarthy, hot-blooded, food-loving cultures and want to go in a tag team together. Drew's not here, but he did say ahead of time that he is interested. But it all depends on whether or not he is technically allowed to because he's a champion. So, Peyton, is he allowed to be in the tag situation?"
No, of course not.
So there you go, Silent Winter Doom. You need to get a new tag team partner.
Silent Winter Doom, you need to make friends.
Or hope that he drops that belt.
Either or, I guess. Silent Winter Doom's character is El Jefe, right?
Yep.
That character is so ridiculous looking.
Before we move on to the next question, though, I have to bring up one point. He brings up food-loving cultures. Who doesn't love food? Come on. Come on. The Dutch, yeah.
That would definitely be a character I boo. The one that doesn't like food.
That's going to be like the second biggest heel.
It's got to be someone who's like really skinny, like Green Smoke, but you know Green Smoke loves food.
No, at least after he gets done certain activities.
Yeah, he specifically loves Cheetos and pizza.
Oh, I looked up that Cheetos, what was it, the Burger King thing?
Oh, the mac and cheese stuffed
yes.
Cheetos?
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Yes, it does.
It's ridiculous how good this looks. Like, I'm going to have to start calling around and asking if they have it. And just be like, yeah, I don't want anything else because I don't really like your shit compared to Wendy's, but do you have that stuff? Because I'm coming in. Man, I want that so bad. So we have 2 other questions from Silent Winter Doom here. Jericho never won the briefcase, but if you could go back in time and have him win one, which past winner would you have him replace? I think that this is a really good question, and I actually really love stuff like this. So more questions like this in the future, everybody. Take note of that. I would go with the first time CM Punk won it.
That's funny.
2008. I think he had a shitty feud with JBL, and he really didn't come off as a champion until he won the belt later on. So it was kind of a waste. And when I looked back on who he cashed it in on and who he was feuding with around this different times, Punk had cashed it in on Edge, and Jericho in the meantime at that point started going into the Shawn Michaels feud, and that was fucking great.
See, my reasoning is very similar, but and for many of the same reasons. I'd actually have him replace CM Punk the next year. Because
the Jeff Hardy one?
Yo, that cash-in was so good.
Yeah, that was great.
See, the first CM Punk cash-in was fucking awesome. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but the reaction and just like Batista came out and just beat the piss out of Edge. That was pretty cool on its own. And then when Punk's music hit, it was a genuine surprise and so much fun. I fucking loved that cash-in. It was one of my favorites. At which point, Jericho was hot as hell. I wouldn't want to interrupt that momentum or what Bruni's doing. Everything he did was gold. He started to go into the Jericho, which was fun, but a little less than what he was doing in '08, so maybe that would have got him back in the title picture.
Yeah, see, I would have, if he would have had that feud with HBK, and he would have been Money in the Bank, possibly cashed in, we could have had HBK versus Jericho as a title feud. Maybe even HBK as a champion.
It was a title feud.
Was?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, could have been sooner.
Well, that feud lasted a long time. It did eventually turn around into when was that when the Jericho
he actually
got it from Edge?
So how that happened was
that was the Scramble night, right?
That was CM Punk got attacked before the Scramble.
Yeah.
Jericho got put in, so you see it's a good job that CM Punk was champ and cashed in that Money in the Bank and ended up the way it did.
And you know what was amazing about that is that he got jumped by Legacy. And like years later, they made reference to that when CM Punk was feuding with Randy Orton again.
That was one of my favorite things that they did around that time was just like, hey, remember when you jumped me? And it was like, good, we have continuity again. What the fuck? But I hated that JBL feud that he had. So it would be like my way to get rid of that JBL feud and still go into the Jericho title reign.
I remember that night so much when Jericho came out and he like had already gotten beat earlier in the night by Shawn Michaels and he's like gripping his sides.
He looks so defeated and broken. And when he won, it just made it so much better. And didn't he win like in such a shitty way too, where he just stole someone's pin?
Yeah, like the last minute.
Oh, fuck. You see, that's why I didn't want to, like, interrupt anything that Jericho did that year. That was easily his best year. Fuck everybody that's, like, clinging
Yeah,
to
but
the
you know what?
Attitude Era.
If Jericho had won a Money in the Bank, that means we finally would have had a pay-per-view in Apple.
Well, Kaylin and Peyton, what do you guys got for this?
Well, I'm thinking around the same time period as you guys. I'm going to go 1 year earlier than CM Punk's first one. I'm going to go with Mr. Kennedy because, first of all, never a big fan of his. I know a lot of people like him, but he only held the contract for about a month before Edge ended up getting it from him and cashing it in. So it wouldn't have been a big difference if it would not have been him, if it would have been, say, Jericho and Edge got it from Jericho. Plus, that way, that everyone could hold that over Jericho. You know, sure, you came up with the idea, but you fucking had it and you lost it. So that would be something else that they could sort of push in his face. So I would say have Jericho replace Mr. Kennedy.
See, I kind of loved that one because of some of the same reasons that Wego was saying. The cash-in was so interesting to me. It was like, wait, somebody can lose the Money in the Bank, and then the next night you've got that Undertaker cage match, and he gets his ass kicked, and it's like, he wrestles like basically 5 times, and then it's just like, not this way, not this way.
No, that was good. That was good that it was stolen and then cashed in right away. But I'm saying instead of Kennedy holding it, it should have been Jericho.
You know, there is one thing that's really positive if that switches over to Jericho, though. That unfortunately was like an onslaught of injuries, if I remember correctly. Wasn't it like Undertaker had gotten injured, Kennedy was injured, that's why they switched the Money in the Bank, then Edge got injured.
I thought Kennedy lost the Money in the Bank because he got busted.
Oh, it might have been that.
I thought Kennedy got injured, and that's why they had Edge take it off of him, but I could be wrong.
No,
Yeah, I
actually,
thought it was an injury.
it was the injury, yeah, because I remember the match wasn't long.
May-
Like he attacked him ahead of time, and it's like just pinned him right off. Like,
Or he got suspended, so they had him lose.
Well, when you're
Then
talking
we
about
had-
a lot of people being out because of injury, I'm pretty sure that was the year of that big pharma scandal when like 10 names got found on a list, including a referee.
who was the referee again? Was it Kyoto?
I don't remember.
I think it was Kyoto, which was
But
like,
that had
what,
like
ref? Like,
that had Kennedy, that had Orton, that had MVP, that had Mysterio, that had tons of names on it.
Masters, I'm pretty sure.
I thought that was the Benoit scandal.
No, that was a little bit after that.
Yeah, it was a little later.
That's why I think it was like 08, 09, 010 maybe is a little bit after it. 010. Well, technically, yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
Otenga.
2010.
10-0. Add an extra
20,010. That's not right. Peyton, yeah, what would you end up picking for this? Who would Jericho replace?
No, I'd actually go with the same one you had, the first CM Punk one. CM Punk was a scrawny, flabby, somehow at the same time. Like, I had no
Skinny
interest
fat.
in him at that point. Yeah, he was skinny fat. He was not really doing anything that lit my world on fire. In fact, his whole first few years, I was really not feeling the train.
That was
Like-
very much like, CM Punk is the best ever.
Yeah, that's exactly what he came off across. He was like, oh, here comes the freaking internet forums dream guy here. And of course he was. And he eventually won me over when he started, I think it was the Jeff Hardy feud that got him to that, which fittingly is when he had that second Money in the Bank.
You see, Peyton, you just don't like him because he's a Paul Heyman guy.
Well, that first Money in the Bank, I think, could have been better served by someone else. That was the first year that I think Money in the Bank kind of felt like a waste.
CM Punk was so much better when he was CM Punk in Ring of Honor. Third and final question from Silent One of Doom. If Money in the Bank existed since the company's existence, name a few of the briefcase holders / champion pairs that you would wish most could have happened. I think this kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of the times when we talk about who should have been a world champion. So, like, the go-to one I thought of, Ted DiBiase. He had to have won a thing called Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee.
Mr. Perfect could have got a title out of that, so could have been Big Boss Man, British Bulldog.
I think Owen Hart would have been perfect for a cash-in. Especially if he cashed in on Brett. I feel like Shawn Michaels definitely would have won it. Triple H would have won it at some point. And I kind of feel like Mick Foley would have won it too. It's like one of those weird times where it's like, oh my god, Mick Foley is Mr. Money in the Bank.
Razor
And he could
Ramon.
have had, yeah, Razor would have gotten it. Yeah. Who's like an outside choice though? Like a random like
Honky
IRA.
Tonk Man.
Ugh.
You know, I could see it.
Yeah, I could 100%. He's got the guitar in one hand, the briefcase in the other, and he's like shimmying down the ring every week.
Because remember, you got to keep in mind too. Just because they win Money in the Bank doesn't mean that they're winning the title.
Oh, he would have won it.
You think he would have won the world title?
He would have won the world title. He would have won it right after some like feel good champion got it, like Piper finally got the world title or something. Then he'd come out and cash in,
and then he would have dropped it again, like the next pay per view. Or
no, he would have. He would have
like 3 years.
Yeah, he would have set a new record.
I got to imagine that Bob Backlund would have won since he apparently just like was the champion for like 10 years. But I don't know about like the oldest type of people. Gorgeous George, maybe.
You're just naming names, you know.
Yeah, like the one guy with the,
Jeremy Gotch or whatever his name was. Yeah.
Jeremy Gotch.
Jumping Jeff Armour.
It's like 50 Gotches, so I mean, you can just put anything before Gotch, it'll work.
Hank Johnson. I was just trying to think of like Phil the Taylor or whatever.
Phil the Baller or something like that.
Yeah.
Crusher Johnson. These all sound like old-timey names.
Don't you mean a Crusher Gotch? What are some other people that we have here? Caitlin?
I don't know. I'm not going back that far. I'm sure that would have been good, but I'm thinking Eddie would have been great with that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, Eddie would have gotten that.
He would have had that
He could have stole the victory.
He stole the Money in the Bank.
There you go. Yeah. So I think it would have been great to see him on, and which feud, I don't know, maybe around the time, was it like 2004 or 5 when he was feuding with JBL? Maybe that would have been a good time. I don't know.
And then we could have had Benoit win it, and then we could ruin another entry and something.
Booker T would have gotten it. Test, I think, could have gotten it.
I mean, Booker could have gotten it. Wasn't he in one?
No, he's been in a couple, yeah. He could have gotten it anyway. But yeah, I think that a couple of these different people, they would have been able to do it over the past couple of years. I actually think Billy Gunn probably could have. Random ass time.
On a side note, I heard he's in an indie tag team with Billy Gunn right now called the New Age Assholes.
Billy Gunn's in a tag team with Billy Gunn?
Sorry, with Mr. Kennedy.
The New Age Asshole.
Yeah, New Age Assholes. I'm like, okay.
Let's see if Taz can say that name. Couldn't say Enigmatic Assholes. I like this tag team. The New Age. I'm just going to call them NA Assholes.
The tough.
Let's move on to Peter Piccininni's set of questions here. First off, we've got, do you think someone will ever break the longest reigning Intercontinental title reign that Honky Tonk Man had, or the longest reigning U.S. title reign that Lex Luger had? And if so, who would win either of those? Speaking of Honky Tonk Man that we were just talking about, I got to say no for the Intercontinental, and most likely no for the U.S., mostly because I thought if anybody was going to beat it, it was going to be John Cena.
You're going to get a year and a half for a title reign at most. You're never getting one of those fucking, like, stupid title reigns again.
It was, apparently, according to him, 414 days for the Honky Tonk Man, 523 for Lex Luger. I can't see that happening now.
Yeah, in this modern era, I don't think anyone's going to hold on to either of those titles that long.
I wouldn't be so sure, especially if we're splitting brands again. It's going to be very easy to leave one person as champion.
They did forget about Dean Ambrose for a while.
Yeah, remember that? Dean Ambrose had like a 200-plus day reign. Never just kind of like passed people by. Or even like, think of how quickly Nikki Bella's reign just flew by. And we didn't even really realize it.
Let me see who is like the next highest up. Because I would think Cena would be close to that. He had it for quite a while, didn't he?
For what, the U.S. title?
Actually, no, he didn't.
Not that long.
It just felt like it was kind of...
Well, because he competed so much.
It also bounced to Seth Rollins for a minute, didn't it? And then bounced back.
Yes, that's true.
Fuck,
didn't MVP have a long reign?
Let's see. Number 1 right now is Lex Luger, 523. Number 2 is 419 days for Rick Rude. Then Dean Ambrose at 351.
Yeah.
And right underneath him is MVP at 343.
Oh, there you go. Those are relatively recent.
So when
2007 and 2013.
So yeah, when WWE dilutes all their titles and it turns to shit, yeah, possibly.
Funny enough, Dean Ambrose and MVP both won that at in St. Louis. So the next person is going to last a long time. If we end up doing a St. Louis U.S. title reign, that's when we should start paying attention to it. But that Intercontinental one too, I don't know, man. Who would be like a good option for this kind of thing too?
I'm thinking Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens could hold on to a title for a long time, and I don't think I would get sick of it.
You know who can hold on to a title for a real long time? Brock Lesnar. Okay, what title? Any title. He can hold both tag titles.
Well, anybody can hold on to a title belt if they don't ever show up.
Yep.
The only person that stands out to me is Cesaro. As far as the current roster goes. Like, that could be a guy that they could get around for a little while.
Shit, I think they could do it with The Miz.
I'd be cool with it. Miz having, especially if Miz won, like, if he was like 415 days, just one day after the Honky Tonk Man, that'd be kind of cool. He finally beats the record, and then it's like he loses right then.
I want them to have a really popular indie darling and have him like one day away from breaking it and take it away.
by Triple H.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
No, in a triple threat match where both Triple H and Roman Reigns win.
Just become co-champions like Jericho and China.
Yeah. They split the belt in half, like when what's her name? Layla and Michelle McCool did that, where they just cut it in half.
Oh god.
Let's see what else we have. Do you think the New Day will break the record for longest reigning tag team championships or be split up in the draft? Let me see who is the longest for the tag champs in the meantime. As far as if they're going to be split up, I don't think that they will.
Don't think so, but I hope so.
Hope so, really?
Yeah, I'm kind of over them.
Oh, I love the New Day.
I know you do.
The longest reigning champions right now are still they're still 20 days away.
Oh, that's
from
it?
Lundrick. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, you might as well have him beat it.
So, yeah. And you know what they should have beat? It'd be fucking primetime players. Like, if we didn't need another reason to hate the fucking primetime players.
Well, if they wouldn't have lost to the primetime players, then they would be... Let's see what they're at right now.
311 plus.
They're at 311 plus for this current title reign, and the other one was 49 days, so they would have already gone past it.
Now, would that be the record including the other tag team lineage? Is there anything that's above that?
I think that there is. I don't know for sure.
Like some random like Killer Bees run or something like that? I don't know.
Killer Bees.
I think Demolition has it.
For the longest?
Yeah, I think it's Demolition.
Huh. Let's see here. World Tag Team Championships is always so goddamn
I know,
confusing.
the names are fucking dumb.
They need to figure out a way to just say that these are all the same and to be able to, like, just combine them instead of being like, well, that's the world, but not the WWE. And which, by the way, if they give a second world title, which I don't want them to do, because I don't even want them to do this brand split to begin with, but I don't want a second world title. If they do, don't make it WWE Champion and World Heavyweight Champion. Give it a new fucking name.
WWE Universe Championship. It's not fucking difficult.
The Universe title. Well, I'm the champion of fucking Universe. Yeah, well, I'm the champion of the multiverse. Demolition at 478 days. So nobody's going to beat Demolition. I would say that.
So it looks like
nobody ever did.
The next pay-per-view Battleground is going to be July 24th. So if we do the calendar from here to now, that puts New Day over London and Kendrick. So I think they're going to hold on to it at least until Battleground.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Possibly. But I think at least until Battleground. So I think it's safe to say that they're going to break the record for this lineage.
And they deserve to break it more than Lundrick.
Nah,
Lundrick,
I like Lundrick because people hate saying the name Lundrick.
Well, that started them with that whole, like, let's just take two names and mash them together. We'll make a Brangelina of these tag teams.
But they were never announced as Lundrick. That's just an internet thing.
Yeah, but it's annoying.
You're
Plus,
annoying.
really, all they were doing was just running out to the ring. And then it was like, hey, flippy, flippy.
Yeah, they did backflips. New Day don't do backflips.
Did they lose it to Trevor Murdoch and Lance Cade at one point, too? Or like 5 points?
Yeah, but Lance Cade did cocaine and was super angry, so it's okay.
I hated Murdoch.
Everyone hates Murdoch.
Even Lance Cade.
Remember when he was doing that stupid fucking singing gimmick?
Oh, God. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, Murdoch's one of the fucking worst things that's come to the WWE in a long time.
Worse than him, though, was the Highlanders.
I remember what happened to them, like how their fucking run came to an end. One of them got called on video at a TNA event, like on television, and they ran his name, and he got in a bunch of trouble for it.
They probably just fired both of them because they were like, one of those Highlanders is out there. Which one? I don't know. You fucking tell the difference? I don't know. One of them's Rory and the other one's like fucking Bill.
Honestly, though, what are you going to do with one Highlander?
Yeah. Fire them, that's what you're going to say. Yeah, so I don't think that the New Day is going to be split up, and I think that they're going to be passing that reign, but I wouldn't be too shocked if they lost those belts at Battleground. That's for sure. That kind of moves into the next question from Peter, which is basically just general, which tag teams do you think that they are going to split up? I don't think they're splitting any tag teams up except for the Social Outcasts.
Proton players.
Oh, well, I figured
Yeah,
they
I
were
could
already
see
split.
that.
No,
do
it's
they
like
even
it's
count?
they never even. I guess Darren's doing his own thing. I guess, and it's just they've kind of just given Titus the music. I wonder if Darren's going to get something different.
Actually, there's another tag team that could be split up, Golden Truth. I would not put it past them to have spent months and months and months building this up, and then right after they do it, they just split them.
Oh, don't split Fandango and Tyler Breeze
Breezango.
up. Yeah, that fucking team's awesome.
Another Lundrick name, Breezango.
Fabrice would be so much better.
Yeah, it really is. Hat tip to Drew for that one. But I hope that they don't. And oddly enough, I hope that they don't split up the Shining Stars either. Like, they're better as a tag team than they are.
Yeah, I
separately.
hope they just add Carlito.
Yeah, add Carlito and then get rid of those two and just have Carlito. And it would keep Primo around. Primo and Carlito were a decent tag team. Just get rid of Epico.
No, just keep all three. Have the tag team take all the falls for Carlito and get beaten down, and Carlito can get all the big wins.
I'm cool
That
with
actually, like, if you want to give him a legitimate mid card run, that can be his two bitch
His
boys.
posse. Or bitch boys.
If we want to quote one famous
His Shining
philosopher.
Stars. Yeah, they're not going to split up the Usos. Like, that's ridiculous. They're not going to split up the Dudley Boys because nobody's going to give a shit about Devon.
Yeah, because they never split the Dudley Boys up before.
Oh, I've done that before, but I think that they've learned their lesson.
Yeah, I
this
don't
time
think
around.
that works.
Actually, like, as far as it goes now, I think there's more investment in Bubba Ray Dudley as a single star.
Really?
Like, yeah, they don't give a fuck about the Dudley Boys anymore. I'm not going to trust them to do anything with them.
What, and he goes back to being Brother Devon?
Hey, just stick Devon in NXT and have him train people. He's a perfect guy to do some training. He has his own school. He's been in the industry forever. So yeah, stick Devon down in NXT to teach people. Have Bubba do that heel character. I'd be totally cool with that.
I would assume they're not going to split up the Wyatt family. Those guys on their own, just a little bit weird. Maybe Luke Harper comes back and does something different, but I think Eric Rowan is sticking in there. Braun Strowman's sticking in there. They need it.
Yeah, Eric Rowan and Braun ain't going to do anything without Bray, so keep those guys together. Luke, I think, would benefit from separating from them.
Yeah, he's the only one if they separate. Because, I mean, even the Wyatt family losing Bray Wyatt, they're not the Wyatt family anymore.
I was intrigued when he got the IC title run, so they could definitely do something like that again.
I wouldn't be pissed if they didn't repackage Luke Harper, but I also would be kind of in for it. Something a little bit different.
New shirt.
Looking at the list here, they're not going to split up Cass and Enzo. They're not going to split up the Vaudevillains.
I think
You
it would be
say
a
they
mistake
wouldn't
to split
split-
the Lucha Dragons, too. I don't think they would.
You say they wouldn't split Cass and Enzo, but I don't think that's entirely far-fetched.
Not after they're so hot right now.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it right.
Yeah, but they love Big Cass. Soon as Enzo was gone, they were putting him in some some good positions. I think eventually he's going to be like one of those guys they elevate. So I wouldn't be surprised if they split him up. I personally wouldn't, but you never know.
Yeah, that's the only people I can think of. Peyton, is there anybody that's in a tag team you're going to be expecting to be split up? Oh, there was the Ascension.
Huh.
Like a
You
split
know,
up Ascension.
I wouldn't be shocked if we split up the Usos.
Really?
Because they ain't done anything since that whole Roman versus the club thing. Like, where have they been?
You know, that is right. Where the fuck have they been?
They've completely fallen off the face of the planet. And weren't
Yeah,
they,
what the
like, gone
hell?
for mad long, waiting for one of them to get back from injury? They came back, and they haven't done jack shit besides that Roman Empire thing.
I mean, it's not like when you say they're not going to split these up and they're not going to split these up. I think like anybody's eligible to be split up. It's not like they've not good at their tag team division before.
Dude, they split up Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross. All right, if they split them
Without
up, they'll
telling
split
them.
anybody up.
That was a dick move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you know this
You know
guy
what?
that you've been like best friends with and you ride with and, you know, work with and it's got this great camaraderie? Yeah, nah, not anymore.
Joke was on them because Adamley didn't know what the fuck to do immediately after. Like
Well,
they had an
JR
entire
just
they had
turning
an
it into
entire
the-
match with silence, and Jim Ross just interrupted, even though it wasn't his match to call. And he even like brought it up on air. Then, well, none of one's called in the fucking action.
Now, if they do split up the Usos, they got to keep Jimmy with Naomi. So it's like, Jay, man. It's going to suck for Jay. Jay's going to be working with Brother Devon for a little bit. We'll figure this out. I think that the Social Outcasts are the only ones that are in danger, though, but they might even stay together. Who knows? And I don't think that they're going to split up NXT tag teams either. I don't think that we're going to get like Jason Jordan on one show, Chad Gable on another. Those guys are sticking together. Another question we have here: if we do get a second world champion, who do you want it to be? For the first world champion at the very least.
AJ Styles.
Styles.
I was just going to say, are we all going AJ Styles here?
I think him and Cena on one feud, battling for months, would be perfect.
Mhm.
I would piss myself laughing if fucking Roman Reigns won it. I would think that would be so hilarious.
You know what? I'd totally be okay with it just to watch the internet go, fuck!
He changed his lyrics to just be like, fuck you, fuck you, steroids, eat shit. It's gotta be Styles.
Is there any news on what the fuck he was took yet?
The guy at all.
I don't think we'll ever get a full confirmation on that until there's some kind of like you shoot years later.
It's probably just some, somatropone or whatever. Like, who knows?
I just find it funny that everyone's going, yeah, man, Roman looks bigger recently, and then that shit happens.
And he's like, shut up. Yeah, anybody going with anybody but AJ? Or actually, you know what? Since we're all going AJ, who's the second best choice?
The Miz.
Co-champion, or does he drop the IC?
I don't give a fuck. I just like Miz having belts.
See, I was gonna say Kevin Owens. I think is a good one to bring up there,
I'm cool with that.
or Chris Jericho.
Cool with that one too.
Do you know who should get?
Cesaro.
Do you know who
Remember
shouldn't
Cesaro.
get
Go
any
ahead.
belts? Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder and Titus O'Neil. Don't give
Yeah.
either of them belts. I've officially decided Titus O'Neil's on my shit list.
Oh yeah, he's been on mine for a while.
When
he's-
was he not?
Well, he's come close, but I've never like put him officially on that like fuck that guy list. I'm done. He's on that list now.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Kiss him goodbye. Right on the fucking lips.
It's the best thing that he's done in like 6 years.
Did you get my Snapchat, by the way?
Yeah, when you sent me that with mwah. I'm like, wait, you never Snapchats? What the hell is it? Oh, okay. That's gonna go down as one of the weirdest fucking things for this entire year. It's just that creepy ass kiss in the mouth. Like, the hell, Titus, man. Mwah. Let's see what else we have here. We've got, who do you think will commentate Raw and SmackDown after the draft? I think they're keeping the same teams.
Yeah, whoever's just doing it now.
Mm-hmm. Now, we don't have Jerry Lawler on SmackDown, so they might be replacing him.
Corey Graves.
I
Well, you
wouldn't
got-
be shocked to see a little shaking up. Like whoever the GM comes in is just going to come in like, all right, well, time to make things my way. And we might see at least one commentator get taken out.
If they do, they're moving Byron.
I would hope so.
Whatever
It's gotta be
show
that.
Nakamura's on, Ronaldo should be on.
Well, they're definitely going to keep Ronaldo and Cole separate. Those two can't be on the same show. And I think they're going to keep JBL and Cole together because they just have that camaraderie, kind of like a Lawler and King, but they did split those two up, so who knows. I think that they really like this Corey Graves and Tom Phillips combo, and David Otunga's getting into it a little bit now. So maybe they're going to do something where like Saxton goes over to the SmackDown and David Otunga replaces him on Raw. Or maybe David Otunga is the only person on SmackDown and they get like Corey Graves and Tom Phillips to mess around a little bit here and there. I think Lawler's out. That's one thing. But I also don't think that they're going to be actually spending a whole lot of time thinking about this. I think that this draft has so much ground that they have to cover. You got to bring in older stars that are coming back to the company. You got to bring in NXT people. you got to switch 2 main rosters around to the main people. They're going to be too busy doing that. They're not going to go with the commentators. We're not going to get like a GM switch, none of that kind of things. I don't think that's going to end up happening here, but it could. I don't know. Do you Stephanie and Shane will be? Oh, do you think that Stephanie and Shane will be the GMs, or is somebody else going to come into the mix?
It's Steph and Shane.
I think it would be incredibly anticlimactic if it ends up just being Stephanie and Shane.
I agree.
I think it's going to be Steph and Shane.
I already saw like my pick, and he's not getting it. So whatever.
I think that they've been putting way too much emphasis on each of them being like, no, I'm going to be the one. No, I'm going to be the one on both. No, I'm going to be the one. But like, I think Vince is just going to come in. It's like, all right, I gave you guys a chance to try to get along. You failed, so I'm putting in this guy and this guy.
See, I kind of think that it's going to go even simpler. I think Vince is going to come in and go, I gave you guys a chance, and you can't work together, so you're going to work separately.
I think it's going to be something along the lines of, all right, you both think you deserve to run the whole show? All right, you got till WrestleMania. Whoever does the best is taking control of everything.
Yep, they're going to do like a bragging
Yeah, I could
rights
see
or
that.
something.
Yeah.
Because
still
there's got to
think-
be competition between the two of them, right? Like,
Yeah, I
makes
still think
sense.
Triple H is going to be brought back into the mix here because he's such a good authority figure.
It'd be great if they showed like a bragging rights thing, and it's got Stephanie and like I would assume Stephanie's going to take SmackDown more than anything because Shane's the new guy. Like Stephanie's on the one side with the SmackDown blue, and then you got Shane, all the red superstars behind him, and then down at the bottom there's Triple H with NXT, and everybody's like rooting for them.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, why not?
Like Triple H does an invasion angle. Oh,
And
fuck,
he's
do
just-
that. That's better.
He's just like, oh, fuck you, brother-in-law, and fuck you, wife.
I hope Stephanie gets Raw, though, just because I've seen her on SmackDown. I know it's not a big deal, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, I want you to be on Raw now.
It doesn't really matter too much to me. So, whatever. Who's your number 1 draft pick for the entire WWE draft? I would have said Roman Reigns beforehand. Fuck, not anymore.
So do they mean like a personal or what we think they're going to do?
Probably what I think. So, I think they're going to go with Dean Ambrose. Because it's going to be like, I want the champion. But it could be Seth Rollins or John Cena.
I'm guessing it's Cena.
I'm guessing Cena.
It's one of those 3, right? Unless it's like, Stephanie, you've got the first draft pick. I am going to pick Bob Backlund.
I don't think Stephanie would pick Ambrose.
That's what I was thinking too. That she had quite a number of words to say to him recently. She doesn't like him, so I don't think she would pick him first.
I think she'd be more happy just making her own champion, so.
If we do get Stephanie and Shane as the 2 people, and Stephanie's got the first pick, I think she's going to go Rollins, and then Shane will go, then I'll pick fucking Dean Ambrose. And it'll be like, yay, he got the good guy, like that kind of a thing. It'll be really interesting if we get a lottery, too, because they haven't said if they're going to do the lottery or the picking.
I hope
think
it's the picking, like the original one, because the original draft's the only one I actually liked. All the other fucking episodes where it's so randomly generated, I thought, fuck this shit.
Yeah, like I like that backstage segment stuff where everybody's like in their own separate locker rooms, and it's like, oh man, I'm waiting to see which one I get picked for. Not just like, is that Matt Hardy?
The original show when it was Rick and Vince picking their guys, it was so like that was such a fun show. Like they got to do it that way again. I hope that's the way they keep it. Like every year that they re-pick 5 people, they don't do this random bullshit.
Till Vince wants to shake things up again.
It's like, all right, but it's predetermined, so just fucking announce it.
Yeah. Especially what the stupidest thing I always thought about that, why are you sending out a guy to wrestle a match so you can get a point to go to like a draft pick? Wouldn't that guy want to throw the match so he has less people on the roster to compete against?
That was also something that always bugged me. It just make it, like when you have a draft. The only way
There's
to
actually
draft if it's
perfectly good explanation for that. It's
Okay.
that it's brand pride, and you want to be on the show that has the best brand because that's the one that's going to attract the most ratings, and then you're going to make the most money.
Okay.
That's not
That's a good enough
That's only justification if Kevin Owens is cutting a promo.
If he starts breaking down his stocks and bonds and he's like, look, these are the bills I got to pay for this month.
Well, I'm just saying,
Who am I
like,
gonna be?
remember when like John Cena switched rosters to SmackDown? And everyone on SmackDown is like, "Oh no, here he comes to bury us." It's like, "Oh fuck yeah, we got the primetime player."
Yeah, but if it was AJ Styles, he'd be like, "Oh fuck, he's here to bury us."
Peter asks, do you think the draft will be both hours of SmackDown? Yeah, of course. Even longer than that. I think they're probably going to do a supplemental thing on the network. Would you guys want a supplemental draft?
They're going to have to. I don't think they could do the
you
whole
can't-
thing in one
you can't
show.
do the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, it's not like they're just swapping a few guys between the rosters. They're legitimately splitting the entire thing, so that they have to do something extra.
Well, here's something that Peter didn't ask this, but it's a good follow-up, I think. Do you guys want them to do a show of SmackDown where they just pick? Or do you want to see, like, we're going to pick, and then we're going to have a match, and after we get done with that match, we're going to make another pick? Like, I would be cool with them not having a single match on the card.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever run the show that way, but I would be totally fine with that.
you can just do less wrestling, or
Or
you could build a match out of the people that have been drafted at the end of the night.
That was the other thing I was going to say, was maybe it's like you do 2 draft picks at a time, and then they wrestle a match or something, and you keep the matches pretty short. But I still think we're getting something on the network. I don't know how they're going to do it, because 2 hours is not enough time to do everything, but...
Well, the first time they did it was 10 people, so do 10 or 15 people, and then do the rest on a supplemental draft.
Peter's asking us, where do we think that the part-timers are going to be, like The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar?
They won't.
I don't think they're going to be mentioned at all.
Yeah, they're not even going to mention them.
See, I disagree. I think Brock Lesnar is going to be a highly drafted person. I wouldn't be shocked to see him go as a number 1.
Lesnar is the only one I can think that they would end up saying, because they're not going to go like, I'm going to draft The Rock, and he's not going to be a part of anything for the next 2 years. And like Triple H has been surprisingly like absent from everything. Undertaker is somebody who's not really in the mix and all that. So Lesnar, yeah, and he would be on Raw for sure.
Taker's always been a SmackDown guy, so if he is drafted, I'd hope he'd be SmackDown, just like follow tradition.
And to get away from Lesnar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, wasn't Undertaker drafted to Raw first?
Yeah, but then he spent like the rest of his career on SmackDown. And I think he might have been a SmackDown guy, but he was the champion, so he was on both. I could be wrong.
No, we were just talking about it before. The Rock was number 1 draft, and then Undertaker was number 2.
Oh,
Raw.
yeah, Rock was a SmackDown guy, wasn't he?
It was his show. It's the
Well,
Rock show.
In 1999, he made it this show. Draft was like, what, 2002? 3?
Imagine somebody else trying to make their own show now. Like, The Rock's got the SmackDown thing, and it's like, that works as a title. You got Raw and SmackDown.
All right, Broman, what's going to be the show? It's the Guy Show.
It's going to be, ooh.
Believe that.
Who gets drafted first, Zack Ryder or Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Smack Talk going to go, the Smack Talk post pay-per-view show going to Twitch? No, that's staying around on the YouTube channel. Who's your favorite, not your character, and least favorite character in the Twitch stream? Who do you think is most over? Who do you think Drew will lose the belt to? All right, let's take this one at a time then. Your favorite and your least favorite character, not counting yourself. I would go with Cocknose being my favorite. If not them, then maybe George Hudson. He's pretty cool. And my least favorite, man, you've added a lot more recently, and I've kind of lost track of them. But any of the guys that sound like total jobbers, like the Christofferson, and there was a dude last time around, Jude something or other. Like, yeah, fuck that guy. Or Dark Balor. Okay.
Dark Balor.
Dark Balor. Drew's gonna lose the belt. I have no idea. And who do you think is most over? Cocknose. He's like the fan favorite. Wago, who are some of your favorites and least favorites?
My favorite is 5. I don't know what his full name is, but
Guess 5.
yeah. Is that his entire wrestling name? Just Guess 5.
Yes, it's guest 5.
Really, you didn't like come up with anything clever?
Nope,
Okay.
it's guest 5.
All right, well, I like him just because there's emoticons and I can channel along. For least favorite, Dickie Fantastic. Fuck that guy.
What? What?
I fucking hate
Yeah,
him.
you don't hear him. He rips him up every time he comes on.
No, I know that. It's just unjustified.
I like Dickie Fantastic more than Dude Kid.
Well, we already established that Dickie Fantastic is the
He's
Sean.
HBK.
Yeah, he's the Sean. Dude's definitely the Genetti.
He needs to get a stink face real soon.
I'm going to circle back to the other questions, but Dickie Fantastic's getting a little bit of heat there. What do you think, Kalen? Who's your favorite and your least favorite?
My favorite is probably, is his name Savage J? The guy with the eyebrows. I like him a lot.
Champion.
Yep.
I like that guy and his eyebrows.
He got me a lot of points recently, so that's another reason why I like him. Also like our champion, our other champion, I like #sauce, Ricky Marinara.
Boo.
I know he's not going to hold on to that title very long, but
he's already held on to it pretty long.
I know. I've been surprised.
The longest reigning champion in Twitch.
Actually, yes. So as far as and there's some others I like too, but I'm not thinking of them right now. Least favorite, I got to go with Jark Balor. Well, there's no other good decision for that. He's terrible. He's the worst. Most over, obviously, Cocknose. My favorite part is in the chat when people who've never seen the stream wrestle, they're like, "What is this?
What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, you know what? When it's just the screen advert like showing the match, they're just like, "What the fuck? It's stupid." And then they see him, and everything changes.
That's my.
The entrance is the best part, though.
It's the mittens.
I'm amazed.
And who do I think Drew will lose the belt to? I think it might be Anton Mango.
Better be.
It might be.
Well, he's not going to lose to Big Nasty.
Mm-hmm. Already lost to something big and nasty. A stink face.
Peyton, who are some of your favorites and least favorites?
One thing I have to backtrack to the previous question. I think what Peter was asking is the live version of it, which will continue to take place on Mixler. That's where we do the live version of those pay-per-view shows.
Oh, yeah. If he's talking about the live one, then Mixler's going to be that for that and YouTube for the other one.
Yes. As far as the 2K16 stuff, listen, these are my children. Don't ask me to pick my children. I have fun with a lot of characters. And I try to put as much as I can into each one to make them look cool. Some people don't like the additions that I make. Sucks for them. Because you know what? Most of the times it's the thing that saves people from being pure embarrassments. Like, come on, guest 5. Someone told you to make a wrestler guest 5. What are you going to do with it? But we got
fives.
Yeah. Well, we got guest 5 over. We got Cocknose over. If you think Cocknose is strange, you should see our newest one, Big Dick Magic.
Yes.
Or Lil Bunny Peter Hopkins.
He was pretty over.
Yeah, pretty quickly. And then there's like some normal people too. You just got to watch. We do it Mondays after Raw. I do some random ones on the stream during the week too. That's on my Twitch at MRPADEN. As far as who Ricky Marinara is going to lose the All-Star title to, if I had to pick someone that I think is going to be a high contender for that title, I would throw that onto, let's say,
Bobby Lesnar G88.
I'm gonna say Dickie Fantastic.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go and throw that one his way because you know what? I just gave him some new clothes. The tag team with his partner Dude Kid, it comes and goes. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Dickie Fantastic looking for something big for his singles run.
That's right.
So spill the beans. Tell us your least favorite.
My least favorite?
Yeah.
Better be Balor.
No, I like Balor. I actually have a lot of fun with Balor, and I have big plans for Balor, actually. I can't wait to start playing more with him.
I hope he loses every match.
But I can't even remember what the hell his name was. It's like Jay Smith. Yeah, I think it's Jay Smith. And
That sounds boring.
it's really boring, and he's such a generic character. He just comes out in like black and blue tights and gloves, and he has like no personality whatsoever. And the only good thing about this character is, for those of you who haven't gone through this, I have an application that I have people fill out to describe how they want their character to look like. And it's relatively simple, you know, like what kind of clothes, what color hair, how long hair, what color your skin you want to be. And I asked what color the skin should be, and this guy's answer was normal.
What's normal?
Exactly. So
I asked him that, and it got awkward.
So
There's no way of getting around that without seeming racist.
Right. So I just gave him dark skin. I was like, oh, that looks normal. And ever since then, he keeps like asking me, can you please make my character lighter skinned? He's too dark.
We know where you're going with for normal now here, buddy. Normal. Like,
I guess it's where you're from.
So is it normal? Are we talking normal pre-Trump presidency or post-Trump presidency?
Kalen, Can you make somebody gray skinned?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can make anybody any color. You can make it like
fucking
blue
blue.
and all. Yeah, you can do anything.
Can you make a character that has like almost no facial features?
Are you talking vacant?
Yeah,
I was thinking that for an idea too.
that'd
Well,
be great if you did like
You could put a
bald
mask
head.
on him.
Yeah, I was
A
gonna say,
big question mark on his chest.
Yeah, like just like black trunks, black boots, nothing else. You know, like if you have to put a mask on or something like that, like whatever. And
Well-
he's just gray skinned and just vacant.
the model they used for Vacant, they actually used to have not one but two characters in the games that looked like that. There was one that was green and there was one that was red.
Oh, you're on about the crash dummies, right?
Yeah, and they used to be the ones that would display, like if you were going through the moves menu to choose what moves you want to give your character, they were the ones that were in the ring performing the moves. And they were unlockable characters that you could wrestle with in the game.
I think that Vacant should be added into the mix and probably given a title. He tends to win a lot of titles.
But whenever you take the title off somebody, he just gets awarded it.
Yeah,
So like he would have been the world champion between Saturday and Monday.
look at that. Vacant. One-time world champ already.
Isn't even been made yet already.
He's already by default. It's
He
going to be
might have not.
retroactive.
He might have not been made yet, but he's making history.
Let's see what else we have here. Did you know that Brie Bella is still on the WWE roster page on the app? That's interesting.
I don't give
Not really
a
much
fuck.
to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. And if you're about to ask all those Total Diva questions, I don't give a fuck about them either.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is probably just because she's going to keep doing Total Diva stuff.
Yeah, he's asking us what's going on with the Total Divas contracts, if they're on like E, and that's why they don't get cut from the roster and stuff. I think that there's probably a joint contract. E Network has it for their thing, WWE has it for their thing. If they got fired from WWE and E still wanted to keep them around, WWE would probably tell them no, and they'd be okay with it. Or if they were like, no, we really just want to do it, then they would have done something else. I mean, I don't think it's going to be something where like E tells them they got to keep them on the roster. They don't have any control. How do you think that Miz, Maurice, Rusev, Lana, Dean Ambrose, and Renee Young will be on Total Divas? I'm cool with all of them, although I don't expect Rusev to really be popping up, but I don't really want to watch the show either, so there's that. Any thoughts on Swerved Season 2 and Camp WWE? We kind of talked about this a little bit in the past, but anybody want to bring anything else up about them?
I want more Camp WWE. Hurry up already. And Swerve Season 2 was really fun. But oddly enough, their best episode was the last one where they kind of went backstage with everything.
Mm-hmm. I liked Season 1 better. I like when they're pranking each other more.
I don't like the ones when they're pranking the kids. I'm just kind of like, children are ugly, small, and I hate them.
Yeah, I mean, the best prank they ever did is when they locked Seth Rollins out.
Yeah.
And he was like throwing a shit fit.
I did like the Ric Flair thing, though.
Oh, he got so pissed.
He got salty as fuck, man.
Like, Charlotte had to go run after him.
And he was just kind of like, I'm done with this shit. I'm Rick fucking Flair.
You do not
you
fuck
guys-
with Flair.
Yeah, it's not fair to Flair. Are you guys buying, watching at a friend's house, or not watching the Brock Lesnar UFC match on July 9th? Definitely watching at a friend's house, that's for sure.
I'm watching UFC 200 because it's UFC 200, and the main reason I'm watching is for the Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar fight. The Lesnar one's just a bonus.
Anybody not watching it?
I might go check it out at a local bar or something, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I'm undecided. I'm not going to spend money on it unless I, for some reason, decide to make a gathering out of it.
If you're not a huge MMA fan and you're just intrigued in the result of that match, just wait till somebody uploads the GIF or a YouTube clip.
That's usually what I do with these
Yeah,
fights.
Yeah, that's what I'm
'Cause
thinking.
That's what I hate about MMA is there's just such a likelihood that this fight is going to be 15 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a shit
With
about
like
that.
30 minutes of let's talk about that before it starts and run like they run video packages, right?
Oh yeah.
Not all of them. Sometimes they'll just have like a brief 2-minute interview. Most of the pre-fight stuff's pretty small now. But as far as like that fight goes, more and more that I look into it, the more naturally confident that Brock's going to do some damage.
I'm going to be really curious. Whoever ends up winning, if they end up doing one of my favorite things that ends up happening, which I think is awkward as hell, is when somebody wins, about like 5 seconds after they celebrated, people just start running over and throwing shit on them. It's like,
Well, that's
here's a
because-
hat, here's a shirt. Like, you know,
That's because they're
merchandise
locked
stuff.
out of the cage until like they're let in, so they can't give them all their sponsor shit.
But it's so great that it's just kind of like, you won, plug this. Like, put the damn hat on.
What'll
We get
be
paid per minute of when the hat's on.
What's going to be the biggest interesting thing about that Lesnar and Hunt fight is when Hunt knocks somebody out. You know how normally they'll knock someone out and they'll jump on top of him and beat the shit out of him? He doesn't. He walks off like a badass, like in a movie. And normally they stay down. So
Nice.
if he does that to Lesnar, it's going to be like the ultimate embarrassment for Lesnar.
Man, that's going to be so weird if he ends up losing this match, man. Especially if he gets, like, punked out, like, real bad.
It
Come
all
back to WWE and just be like, fuck you.
it all depends on how he like physically is, because if he's the Brock Lesnar of old, yeah, he can win this. I've been watching a lot of breakdowns, and if he's still got the old skill set, great. But a 5-year layoff from any sport's fucking huge.
Did WWE think before they announced the draft they combat TNA, but coaches off the top rope and Total Divas are in the second hour? Do you think E and Sports Center will let them change that? No, I don't think that they care. It's different people watching different shows.
I have no idea what was asked.
It's basically SmackDown moving to Tuesday nights conflicts with Total Divas and the Jonathan Coachman's show. So it's like, well, you think they're going to move? You think that they're going to change that? Like, I think the people that watch Total Divas, a lot of them aren't watching SmackDown and vice versa. Even though it's got that crossover audience, it's like a lot of women that are watching it just because it's on the E! Network. They're not watching it because it's a wrestling thing. And if you're watching Coachman's show on ESPN or SportsCenter or whatever it is, you just watch it afterward or something like that. I don't think that they really care. We have 2 more questions here before we're done with this one. Should Raw and SmackDown both be 2 hours? Yes.
Yes, fucking kill that third hour of Raw, kill it with fire. And anybody says that SmackDown should go to 3 hours, kill yourself with fire.
Yeah,
God,
should they be
if
2
that
hours?
happens.
Yes. Will they be? No. They're going to keep Raw 3 hours, and I would not be surprised if they made SmackDown 3 hours. They would add it. They would add an extra. I'm not saying I want it. I say they shouldn't do it, but I would see them adding an extra hour to SmackDown before they ever cut that third hour of Raw.
Mm-hmm. That 3 hours has been stuck too long.
The only
If
thing
it was like a 1 month thing, then they could have gone back. But no, they're going to tack another hour on the SmackDown before they take it away.
what gives me a glimmer of hope is that SmackDown's another live show, so maybe to cut some like slack on their production guys, they might make it 2 hours for both shows. But WWE has a history of running their employees into the ground, so let's fucking scrap that idea.
How would they do that too? Like, how would they take that third hour away without making it seem like, whoops?
I think it's fine. Like if you're saying, "Well, we're doing it because it's draft and both brands have to be even," because if one's got a third hour, it seems like the more important brand.
If Impact can get chased back to Thursday nights, this isn't that much of a pullback. And they could even word it the same way they did. I remember when they did it. It's like, the fans requested it, and we're giving it to you. We're going back to Thursdays. Like, they could easily just pull something like that. It's like, well,
And
the
next
fans
week,
wanted
Tito
2 hours.
Ortiz.
Last mailbag question for June. Do you think WWE is going to let Ryback's contract expire or bring him back? And if he leaves, why the hell do you think it took them so long? It took them so long because they're letting the contract expire.
Yep, there's a contract dispute. They want to stick it to Ryback, so he's going to have to write it out.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are in a draft situation. They are bringing people back. Maybe they end up bringing him back, but I don't think so. He's been tweeting stuff about, like, I'm looking forward to my future. I got other things that I'm working on. He knows. Like, he ain't coming back. But if he does come back, would you guys want to see him in the same spot that he was in, or do you want him to be pushed a little bit more?
Kind of over him. I like him. I think he's got amazing talent, and he could have been a main eventer. I'm just over him.
I
Do you
like
think that
him.
He should be a possible main eventer.
No, I don't think he should be a main eventer. And I like him. And I think with this split happening, that there probably would be room for him. But I don't see it happening. So unfortunately, I think his time is done with the company.
All right, guys. Well, those are your mailbag questions for June 2016. Start sending in the ones that you want us to answer for July. We're going to be doing that a couple episodes from now. If I remember correctly, it's episode 244 is the next time that we're going to be doing this. So send them now when you got them in your mind, or when any time that you think of one. I'll always just backlog them, and we'll get around to them when we get around to them. But that's our main event for this episode. So the last thing that we have to take care of is the Fantasy League in the next part. Stay tuned, everybody. Part 5 coming up next.